Darkness. A low rumble echoes across an empty horizon. The world trembles. A glass falls from a table and shatters, faster than it should. A bird tries to lift itself into the air but collapses helplessly. Your chest feels heavy, your legs anchored to the ground, your heartbeat laboring against an invisible force. You wake up before dawn, the narrator says softly. Something is wrong. Gravity feels stronger. Moments later, an emergency broadcast interrupts every screen. Satellites malfunction, networks fail, the global feed flickers in and out until a single message stabilizes. Earth has expanded overnight. Our planet is now twice its size. The world goes silent. The impossible has happened. Earth's diameter has doubled, not over millions of years, not through a natural cosmic process, but instantly. The planet has grown like a balloon filled beyond its limits. Continents stretch outward, oceans shift. The ground beneath your feet is no longer the same world you stood on yesterday. Understanding the consequences of this transformation begins with a single staggering truth. Doubling Earth's diameter increases its volume eightfold, and with 8 times the volume comes 8 times the mass. That increase changes everything. Gravity surges. Every object on Earth becomes suddenly, violently heavier. Humans feel twice their normal weight. A simple step forward feels like dragging chains. Running becomes nearly impossible. Jumping is out of the question. Your spine compresses, your joints strain, and your heart struggles to push blood upward through a body now too heavy for itself. Birds cannot fly. Insects collapse under their own weight. Even the tallest trees bend as their trunks bow under the pressure of a world that has become too heavy for its own life. But gravity is only the beginning. Earth's crust, a thin shell floating on molten rock, stretches beyond its limits. A planet cannot double in size without tearing itself apart. Massive fractures rip across continents. Every tectonic plate, every fault line, every stress point built over centuries suddenly breaks. The planet convulses. Earthquakes erupt everywhere at once. Megathrust quakes powerful enough to shatter entire cities in seconds. Volcanoes awaken violently as magma surges through newly opened fractures. Shockwaves travel through the crust faster than governments can issue warnings. Above the chaos, the oceans begin their transformation. As the planet expands, new lowlands form. Massive basins thousands of meters deeper than anything seen before. Water rushes into these voids like a world-sized waterfall. Old coastlines vanish. Shallow seas drain into new abysses. Entire countries find themselves suddenly landlocked, while others drown under displaced water pouring across unstable continents. These surges create tsunamis larger than anything in recorded history. Waves travel not because of storms or wind, but because Earth's shape itself is changing beneath the oceans. Life below the surface is thrown into turmoil. Species adapted to shallow waters are dragged into deep, cold darkness. Coral reefs, unable to survive the pressure change, collapse instantly. The ocean becomes an alien landscape. But the atmosphere undergoes a transformation even more dramatic. A bigger Earth with greater mass pulls the atmosphere closer. Air pressure rises. Oxygen becomes harder to draw into the lungs. Breathing feels like inhaling through thick water. Storms grow monstrous as dense air fuels unstable pressure systems. Clouds sag lower, forming ghostly layers where sunlight struggles to pass through. Daylight dims. The sky loses its familiar blue, shifting toward a deeper, darker hue. Shadows blur, colors fade. The planet descends into a permanent twilight. As the hours pass, a colder world begins to take shape. With Earth's surface area now 4 times larger, the same sunlight spreads thinly across it. Temperatures fall, ice expands. Climates shift away from the poles, pushing frozen regions toward once tropical latitudes. Forests die back as ecosystems collapse under the burden of new gravity, pressure, and cold. What makes all of this even more devastating is how sensitive the real Earth is to even tiny changes. A slight tilt in Earth's axis can reshape climates. A small drop in global temperature can trigger an ice age. A minor tectonic shift can destroy cities. Doubling Earth's size is beyond catastrophic. It surpasses every natural disaster in history. Nothing, not asteroid impacts, not supervolcanoes, not mass extinctions, matches the scale of destruction caused by a planet being forced into a new form overnight. Hour by hour, the transformation unfolds. In the first hour, the expansion itself occurs. Gravity surges, birds fall, satellites drop from orbit, communications fail, shockwaves begin to spread. By the second hour, global earthquakes tear across continents. Cities crumble under the combined force of seismic shock and doubled gravity. Volcanoes erupt simultaneously as pressure within Earth becomes unstable. 6 hours in, the oceans begin their violent collapse into new basins. Mega-tsunamis spread outward, drowning coastlines and erasing islands from existence. By the 12th hour, infrastructure everywhere has broken down. Bridges buckle, towers twist, and power grids fall. The world darkens under dust, ash, and a thickened atmosphere. 18 hours after expansion, the sky loses its familiar brightness. Sunlight weakens, filtered through dense air and clouds hanging lower than ever before. Temperatures drop rapidly. 24 hours later, Earth stabilizes, if it can be called that. A crippled planet, heavier, darker, colder, reshaped by forces no species could ever prepare for. A world where humans struggle to stand, breathe, and survive. A world with oceans in new places, mountains split across their peaks, and landscapes unrecognizable. A world that is no longer Earth. This scenario forces us to confront a reality we take for granted. Our planet is finely tuned. Its size, mass, gravity, atmosphere, temperature, and distance from the sun all exist in a delicate balance that makes life possible. Change even one of these, and life is threatened. Change all of them at once, and life disappears. We live on a razor's edge of cosmic precision, protected by a stability we rarely appreciate. But if doubling Earth's size destroys the world as we know it, another question remains. What would happen if Earth suddenly shrank to half its size instead? Would life adapt? Would gravity weaken? Would the atmosphere escape into space? Or would the planet collapse in an entirely different way? Another impossible scenario. Another question waiting to be explored.